We begin with breaking news as crews are on scene right now, battling a massive fire on Olympia Drive in Amherst. Welcome to Western Mass News, everybody. I'm Tyler Beraldi. Western Mass News' Amanda Martin Ryan is there on scene right now with the latest. Amanda.
All right, Tyler, since we last checked about a half hour ago, things look almost exactly the same as around 10:30. The fire, as you can see, it's still kind of tall. If you look on the right of where you can see the smoke coming up, at this time we have learned that that once was a 4-story building.
We begin this hour with breaking news. A postal worker has been arrested following a hit-and-run crash in East Longmeadow this morning. Welcome to Western Mass News at 4. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Amanda Martin Ryan. Western Mass News reporter Addie Patterson now joining us live from the area where this incident first began earlier today. Addie, what can you tell us?
Chris and Amanda, 54-year-old Robert O'Sullivan of Westfield is now facing several charges following today's arrest, including operating under the influence of alcohol and causing serious bodily injury. Around 9:40 a.m. this morning, Westcom Regional Dispatch says they began receiving multiple 911 calls reporting.
We're bringing you big breaking news on this Friday night. A pilot is fighting for their life and a plane is submerged in the Quabbin after crashing just hours ago. Welcome, everyone, to Western Mass News on this Friday night. I'm Amanda Martin Ryan. That crash drawing a massive emergency response around the reservoir. That's where Western Mass News reporter Addie Patterson is reporting from tonight with the late breaking details. So, Addie, we know this plane went down in New Salem. What else have you gathered?
That's right, Amanda. State police receiving reports that a plane had crashed into O'Laughlin Pond just north of the Quabbin Reservoir right around 8 p.m. this evening. That's in the area of Route 122 here in New Salem.
I've never seen so many police cars in my whole life. I walked down here and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
We turn now to that breaking news this evening out of Holyoke, where a murder suspect from Hartford barricaded himself inside the Budget Inn on Route 5 in Holyoke, closing it down for nearly 9 hours today. We have now learned that the suspect is dead after taking his own life after a standoff in that hotel room. Western Mass News reporter Madison Lisowski is live for us at the scene with the very latest. Madison, what do we know so far?
Yeah, Chris, Hartford police say that the suspect from last night's deadly shooting on Magnolia Street had barricaded himself here at the Budget Inn into one of those rooms all day today. Now,
we have our team live and standing by for you tonight. We've got our first alert meteorologist Jana Brown and Western Mass News reporter Madison Lisowski out there braving the elements for us in Springfield and Chicopee respectively. But let's begin in the Weather Center with our other first alert meteorologist Dan Brown. So Dan, how are things progressing at this time?
All right, Amanda, I got to tell you, everything right on cue.
I'm standing right on the edge of Springfield Street in Chicopee, where plows have come by, but they haven't made too much of a difference, unfortunately, just because there is so much continued snow coming down, as you can see.
Yeah, Dan, there's no real big surprises here for us in Western Mass. We were always slated to be one of the hot spots for snow. I'm like legit eating it while I'm talking to you because it is now coming down in sheets and the breeze is kind of blowing it right at our faces.
Well, Stephen, one word, it's very windy, which is actually a couple words, but it's windy out here. There is just, I mean, we have seen the plows coming through this morning here at the rest stop. But you honestly can't really tell they've been through because that's how much this wind is just whipping through.
Oh, Reagan, I fear that the wind is not treating us any better. Unfortunately, this is quite miserable for us. And you were just talking about the visibility. I can't even see the camera that's maybe 6 feet in front of me right now. So I can certainly understand why the visibility on highways may not be good as well.
A warning for parents tonight. Teens can buy professional tattoo kits online with no age verification.
Western Mass News is getting answers on the potential safety concerns. Our own Sloan Wick ordered one and took it to an expert.
That's the sound of forever. And forever. And forever. Bat tattoos are such a common thing, we didn't even have to leave the building to find someone getting theirs removed.
I was like, wow, this is a lot bigger and a lot darker than I originally thought it was going to be, and I kind of immediately regret it.
That's Nicole Olberg, one of our salespeople who's been getting tattoos since 18 years old.
When you couldn't have told me, like, you'll regret that one day.
Her experience isn't unique. In fact, it could be getting more and more common.
The answer why is literally at our fingertips. I hopped on Amazon and less than 24 hours later had this on my doorstep. Real ink, real needles, real tattoos. I didn't have to prove how old I am or even have a tattoo license. Now, when you look at something like this, all you need to get it is 24 hours, $26, and some pretty bad judgment.
I wouldn't really touch most of this stuff myself.
We took the amateur kit to a pro.
This is probably one of the more sketchier things to me.
Yeah, what's sketchy about it?
Well, inks should be bought from a reputable dealer. These here, it's impossible to know the quality of the ingredients.
Patrick Dumas has been tattooing for over 20 years. It's pretty safe to say he knows his stuff, but that wasn't always the case.
If you were to, as an expert, compare the quality of that first tattoo to the one you did yesterday, how would the quality line up?
It would be a big difference. Yes, a lot much more experienced, much more steady.
Steady and sterile, which matters a lot for needles.
You would never want to reuse them. Something that a self-taught person may not be all that aware of, or maybe they won't even care.
Fortunately, this is just practice skin, but on real skin, the CDC says it can have real risks. Hepatitis B and C, even HIV. Dumas tells Western Mass News it can lead to permanent scarring.
Well, if it's sticking out too much, that can be dangerous. Ooh, now that I've wrapped it up, though, I can't really twist the tip to change the depth. So that's kind of a problem.
I did like a stick and poke in high school, but that one faded because it was like way too painful. It was like really morbid and gross, but it's also like how deep and how many times you have to do it.
But even that is nothing compared to getting the ink out.
Getting them removed is 10 times, 100 times more painful than that, and you have to go so many times over again.
Painful for your skin and wallet.
This one is $500 every time I have to remove it, and they said it's like between 6 and 8 times that you have to go back.
Which might be your only option if you can't get a cover-up.
Sometimes there's not much you can really do. You're not really going to get anything that nice looking at the end of the day.
There's certain mistakes that you make that don't have reversible consequences. Like, praise God, I can go and I can get these tattoos removed. But if you've got an infection and you lost a finger, you lost something, like, that's not something that you can come back from.
Especially if it's a special finger, which is what she's looking at.
There's no going back. And it's the hand. I recently got engaged in January, and I just don't like the look of it at all.
If you could go back to 17-year-old Nicole before you got any tattoos, what would you tell her?
I'm not against them. I still have other tattoos that I'm not removing. There's no amount that you can say to someone for them to understand unless it's been that lived experience. So now I'm just paying for the consequences of what I did to myself.
Sloan Wick, Western Mass News.
Per Massachusetts law, you have to be at least 18 to get a tattoo legally without parental consent. If the minor uses the kit, the seller may be held liable for facilitating an illegal act and practicing body art without a license. We reached out to Amazon last Thursday morning. A spokesperson said she may not meet our story deadline, but they would investigate it, quote, internally and take appropriate action. She asked us to send an example of a tattoo kit that's being sold without any age verification. We sent her the one used in this story, and she confirmed she received it. Since then, we've followed up twice with no response, and the listing for the kit is still up.
The median yearly income for people younger than 25 in Hampden County is $42,349. Now, the standard advice is to not spend more than 30% of your salary on rent, which in this case means $1,176 per month. Problem is, the standard one-bedroom in the Springfield area starts around $1,300 per month. So I sat down to see what I could find on apartments.com, like these boots. You can wear them to work or for a night out. But of course, it's not all about money. One of most well-documented concepts is economist George Taylor's hemline theory. The idea a woman's skirt length tells you about the current culture. Take the 50s, for example. Fresh off World War II, people were excited, but also cautious, so a safe mid-length skirt was in. Then boom, 60s hit. America's economy is flourishing. Everyone is upbeat and bold, so the mini skirt dominates fashion. Then the 70s come in. We see the Vietnam War, inflation, people are anxious. So conservative long skirts are back in fashion for the first time since the Great Depression. It's a similar trend to what we're seeing now.
Surrounded by bikes, which were generously donated earlier this morning.
Hundreds of people and pets turned out to support the TJO Foundation, including some of our own Western Mass News crew.
Through the generosity of the community, over 1,000 coats, hats, scarves, mittens, and gloves were donated.
We're just providing a warm winter coat.
2025 Stump the Bus campaign, let's do it! Our crew worked tirelessly to make sure everything donated to our lobby was packed up and ready to send out to kids who need these items the most.
We're just so grateful. Our community is so generous.
Thousands of donated food items here inside the Western Mass News lobby.
Thank you to Western Mass News, and thank you to everybody who supported this year's Feed the Valley.
Kaylee, you have so much love and support.
And we're here to surprise you. We've got a few guests here, and we are coming in for you. So here we go.
She's going to be in shock, very happy.
And I know what you're thinking. Tyler, this room is already completely overflowing with toys, but that's where you would be wrong. We actually have a lot more room in this studio, as you can see from our beautiful row of bikes, and then also enough boxes so that if you want to donate, you're going to be able to do so for at least until we finish up tomorrow.
We know that you care as much about the community as we do, and we love partnering with you.